You guys, it's the kid, 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 it's the kid. We're here for the Sunday hangout. Sunday hangout, we try maybe, talk about much more larger, bigger footballing topics, and so forth. Just to sort of get things through. This is going to be an hour, because I actually have to wake up for work tomorrow morning. So we're going to try and squeeze as much stuff and as much content as we can within the next hour or so. And also, I need to finish off The Boys, the TV show on Amazon Prime. So yeah, it's what it is. We're on a tight share schedule. But look, man, first of all, I think before we talk about anything, Hassan, do you have anything to say since it's been a while since we've seen you on the hangout?
Woo! I'm glad to be back, guys. Glad to be back, man. As you know, we did it, guys. We did it. We finally did it.
We
did. We did it. The whole.
What do you mean by we?
I know. I know everyone who watched the hangout wanted Lewandowski to win the Champions League. We did it. Yeah, we did it. My agendas are unbeatable. Last year, Salah won the Premier. This year Salah won the Premier League. Last year, Salah won the Champions League. This year, Lewandowski won the Champions League. You can't beat me. I'm sorry, bro. Let me just say, Lewandowski has had one of the greatest seasons I've ever seen from a striker. That is an insane season. What he did in the Champions League, in the league, that season alone puts him as one of the most elite strikers of this generation. And in general, now we have no doubt that Lewandowski is the best striker of this generation. In the last 10 years, there's no striker.
So an argument. You realize you don't realize that he didn't score in the final.
Oh, doesn't matter. He doesn't have to score in the final. What's it called? Ribéry didn't score in the final in 2013. That was still his best season in the treble. He won the treble now. Lewandowski was the leading force of Bayern winning the treble. He was the top scorer in the Champions League, top scorer in the league, top scorer in the cup, top scorer in all the competitions, and he was literally crucial in most of Bayern's games. Against Barcelona, he assisted the opening goal, and he scored as well. Against what's the name? Lyon, he scored as well. All the key games he scored. It's fine if in the final he didn't score. He still had a good game. The Champions League was his.
So wait. So are you honestly telling me that you are putting Lewandowski ahead of Benzema because of this CL?
Lewandowski was already ahead of Benzema before the CL. Benzema, the only reason why he was in the same conversation as Lewandowski was because of the trophies. The level of his contribution in those trophies was not the same as Lewandowski's contribution to his team. And Benzema's consistency is nowhere near Lewandowski's consistency. So now it just puts the cherry on top of the cake.
Benzema has 4 CLs and 3 in a row.
Yeah, I told you it's only trophies. So what? Arbeloa has a World Cup. Does that make him a better defender?
No. But are you going to deny how crucial and how important Benzema was in those CLs and the very important role that he played in those CLs? Or you said he didn't play an important role?
I told you his role was not the main role in the team. The main role in the team was Ronaldo, Modric, that later Ramos. Those were the main players. Benzema had a role, don't get me wrong, but he was just part of the team. He wasn't the main guy, okay? This Bayern team this year, Lewandowski was the main guy, okay? Of course, there are great players, but no one can deny that Lewandowski was the best player in that team this season. Everyone knows that he deserves the Ballon d'Or, which they cancelled, which is, I think, the worst decision I've ever seen. Just because Ronaldo and Messi are not winning it, and they need them to win. So,
okay, let me bring in Wilson because Wilson is a Real Madrid dude. So, Wilson, trying to be objective, 2 questions. Does this win now take Lewandowski ahead of Benzema? And how important, be real, be objective, how important was Benzema in those 3 CLs?
Benzema was very, very important to those 3 CL we won in a row. Yeah, I get it. He wasn't the main goal scorer but the way the striker is playing out these days, it's like the striker are not even the goal scorer now anymore. It's like the wingers are kind of the striker now. We see at Liverpool, Firmino doesn't even score a lot. It's Salah and Mane that scored. Especially in the 2018 final, when I know Karius helped Benzema score that goal, but he still scored in the final. So that kind of changed the game. That goal helped us win the game, to be honest with you. Because it broke the deadlock. Because Liverpool were really, really being annoying in that final. But when Benzema scored that goal, it kind of changed the game. Yeah, I get it. Obviously, objectively wise, Lewandowski is better because look at the guy's stats. Like it's crazy. Like this guy, I think he what 15 goals like the last Champions League. So
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy season, bro.
objectively, he's better than Benzema. But trophy wise, Benzema can say, "Hey man, I got 4 Champions League. You have 1." So yeah.
Okay, so
That's so-
wait. So Vilton, again, being objective, take your Madrid bias away from it because we already know that Hazem is fully biased. But
relax.
Would you easy Hazem relax? Lewandowski now has his Champions League. Overall, objectively speaking, who do you now say has been the better striker overall, Lewandowski or Benzema of the past decade? Wait, come out and come back in then. Come out and come back in.
Let's be honest.
Okay,
Lewandowski's season with Dortmund in 2013 in the Champions League was better than any Benzema Champions League season.
Nah, 2016 season, Benzema had a really good season.
Bro, it's not as good as 23. You scored 4 goals in a CL semi-final. Come on, bro.
Wait. Let's hear from other people. Let's hear from other people. So, armchair critic, where does this now leave the Lewandowski Benzema conversation after Lewandowski's CL?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know if we had that I think Luis Suarez was the closest competitor to Lewandowski. I don't think Benzema was in the conversation to begin with. I thought it was Zlatan, Suarez, and Lewandowski. And I think with this Champions League, it's quite clear that he's since Brazilian Ronaldo, I think Lewandowski is now the best striker. And
yes.
See, the only thing I want to add here is that I would personally take prime Suarez over Lewandowski, even though I think when you consider their entire careers, Lewandowski has had the better career now because he was the protagonist of this Bayern Munich team that ultimately won the Champions League. Whereas Suarez had arguably the best club player, as you say, Messi.
Wait. I'm too critic. I think some people in the live chat are saying that your mic is a bit crazy. So try and come out and come back in. So
wait a second. Hold on a second. Can you hear me now?
Okay. That should be better now. Okay, go for it.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, Luis Suarez has proved himself in multiple leagues. I think his peak, that 13-14 season with Liverpool, was absolutely outstanding. Then he had that 15-16 season where he did not win the Champions League, but he scored 59 goals in all competitions. And I think his peak is better than Lewandowski. But overall, when you consider the last decade, I think Lewandowski has been more consistent. He was the main forward for his team, unlike Suarez, who in the last 4 or 5 years hasn't really been that Suarez that we knew previously. So I think Lewandowski has edged the debate after this Champions League win. So he's number 1, then number 2 Suarez, 3 Zlatan, and then 4 to Benzema. One thing I don't like is elevating a player beyond what his talent and ability warrants by bringing in trophies that are more of a team achievement. Because Cristiano was the main guy in that Champions League. Then it was Ramos and Modric and all those other guys. So to say that Benzema has 4 Champions Leagues and Lewandowski only has 1 is unfair.
No. Just my whole argument was not necessarily the trophies, is his contribution in those wins. Again, I told you, Stefan Givash has a World Cup. So
yeah, exactly. So without Ronaldo, Benzema did not advance beyond the round of 16 consecutive times. So yeah.
Okay. Totally Awesome says Hazem speaks to the truth. Totally Awesome, you're a Bayern fan, so of course
he's a Bayern
Hazem,
fan,
so it's unfair. Come on, Totally Awesome, you're being biased.
So everyone's biased all of a sudden.
Easy, chill. Okay, I am ham. This Lewandowski Benzema discussion, has it now been put to bed after Lewandowski completed his CL and his 50 Gs this season?
Yeah, unfortunately, even though what's this guy, Lewandowski has been beating up those formers in Bundesliga, you have to accept the fact that he has been much better than Benzema. Though I think Benzema's last 2 seasons have been very good for Real Madrid and really showed his talent. I think Lewandowski is just a better player.
Ooh, Rodrigo's here. The Lewandowski Suarez debate.
Okay. Saeed, man, this whole Lewandowski thing,
Hello?
again, where do you stand on the whole thing then? After him clinching his CL?
I mean, I don't know. Like, that's a difficult question to ask because they're still both of them are still playing right now. So once they retire, then I can
But as of right
fully
now,
analyze.
2020, September 2020, as of right now.
Well, as a 2020 right now, he's a Ballon d'Or winner. He wins the Ballon d'Or for me. He's the best player in the world for me. And I mean, he's in terms of like having in terms of the season, yes. But at the same time, what Benzema did for Real Madrid this season is amazing. I mean, like he pretty much was the best player in La Liga, and he won Real Madrid that pretty much close to single handedly. He won Real Madrid that La Liga title. So I mean, yes, I mean Lewandowski scored 50 goals. He had an amazing season, but I mean you have one of the best Bayern teams in Bayern's history. So I mean it's hard.
Because of
Right now,
Lewandowski.
yes, he's better than with
So,
he's better than
but if you had
Lewandowski.
to
Lewandowski is better than
choose,
Benzema.
if you had to choose
I don't know.
Lewandowski or
For
Benzema,
me, if
right
I had to
now,
choose,
Human history. What?
I I would choose my. It depends on what kind of striker you want. Because if I want a goal scoring striker that scores 50 Gs for me, Lewandowski. If I want a striker that actually makes my team better, Benzema. It's that simple.
If you want both, Lewandowski.
Okay.
Yeah.
Roll football, mano. Lewandowski.
Hey, what's up, man?
Benzema.
Hello.
What is that?
So- Okay, so objectively speaking, I would say that Lewandowski,
Not again.
he would be considered the better striker just because off of looking up stats. But I do think that Benzema is a better player, and Benzema is able to play he's shown this season that he's more versatile, and he's able to play different. I wouldn't say different positions, as in like winger or midfield, but what I mean is his role to the team can be played in. He could be a different role player, is what I'm trying to say. And Lewandowski, the team has to be built around him in order for him to succeed. But I would still put Suarez ahead of Lewandowski because
This guy.
I
Oh,
rate
God.
what Suarez did for the national team. And people can say what they want, but
no. You know now. Uruguay, man. You know Uruguay have
wait.
Forlan
Can I say something?
and they
Can I say
have
something? Can I say
Cavani.
Yeah.
Where is Poland's Cavani and Forlan?
If I'm correct, throughout Lewandowski's time, Poland have been inside the top 10 of the world in FIFA rankings.
Because of him.
No,
Because of him.
No, it's true.
Yeah, because of him.
You're really gonna
Oh my
come
God.
up here and use FIFA
That just
rankings?
shows how good he is.
No, but still, like even though you have to see that the type of competition that Poland play in Europe. Poland do not. I mean, all right. So when you're in Europe, they use FIFA rankings in order to see who you're gonna play against for qualification. That being said, Poland being considered higher in FIFA rankings, that means that they're gonna get lower opposition teams that are ranked lower, which means that it will be easier for Poland to qualify. But Poland have been having difficulties qualifying. Look, in the Euro 2012. Lewandowski took Poland to bottom place in the group.
No, he
And
scored.
guess who was in that and guess who was in that group? I believe Russia was in that group.
Greece.
I believe Greece was in that group, and then there was another team. I forgot who it was.
But my argument is
Bro,
that
that team was crap.
we have to go like for like. Uruguay during Cannibal's time is a much better team than Poland. That team and the players they had were simply just much better.
Okay. I'm gonna respond to this. So you're saying they were simply better, right? But take out Suarez, which we see this in the 2016 Copa America, and they played against Venezuela. And their group was Venezuela, it was Mexico, and it was I forgot who it was. I think it was Jamaica. They finished last.
We have a lot of stuff to go because we really have an hour.
Name me one player.
Benzema or Lewandowski for this past decade. Benzema or
I said,
Lewandowski for this past
Other than
decade?
Lewandowski.
Who?
I already answered, and I said, objectively speaking, I would say Lewandowski, but for my sake, I would say Benzema.
All right, Peter. Benzema or Lewandowski for this last decade after
What up,
Lewandowski
Prince
secured his
Rich?
PL?
Forlan, Cavani.
Wait, say the question again.
No, between Lewandowski and Benzema last decade, who is now the better striker?
The better striker, just on their own, has to be Lewandowski because of his link-up play, goal-scoring capabilities, and just what he's actually done. I think Benzema could have proven himself to be the better striker, but when you're playing with Cristiano in the team, he's the main goal scorer. So he spent basically the last a good 5 years being a side chick,
Yeah.
not proving himself as the main striker. So you have to go Lewandowski as, objectively speaking, the one who's proven himself as the better individual striker. But for me, I would take Suarez over both of them.
Okay, because let's get to the first main official topic, man.
Thank you very much.
Ansu Hazem, there's no thank you. He didn't win anything. Ansu Fati, 17 years of age. This is a 17-year-old kid now. So I think they said youngest ever Champions League goal scorer, youngest scorer for Barcelona, youngest player to debut for the Spain national team, and now the youngest ever goal scorer for Spain. He had a goal overruled in their game against Germany, and now he won the penalty and had an absolutely amazing, superb flipping goal. I was saying this thing from the start. See, for me, eye test. Always trust the eye test. The very moment I saw this dude, I was like, no, this guy is a player. Before he scored a goal, before he made an assist, I was like, no, just the way his understanding of the game and his composure that he has when he has the ball is a man that is playing beyond his years. So for a 17-year-old, I was like, you know what? This is quality. And this is amazing. This is quality. This is amazing. But so the question is, guys, will Ansu Fati become the next world player in the next 5 years' time or 6 years' time? Or do you think we could have another Mario Götze situation? Let me come first to Wilton on that. What do you think Ansu Fati will do? What do you think his potential is?
His potential is, the sky's the limit for the kid. I mean, the kid plays for arguably the third or second biggest club of all time, Barcelona. He scored in the Champions League. Now he's scoring his debut, only starting debut for Spain. And I think he's better than Marcus Rashford right now, to be honest with you. At the moment, you could make a case for Marcus Rashford.
Wait. Did you just mention Rashford? No. Please tell me you didn't mention Rashford.
I didn't mention Rashford. I didn't. I don't know who was talking. But
Marcus
anyway,
Ballon d'Or Rashford, by the way.
Ansu Fati, the sky's the limit for him. I do hope he starts next season. I do hope Coleman put him on the starting lineup, because if Cannibal goes to Juve, I'm pretty sure Griezmann might play the number 9 and Messi's gonna be on the right and Fati could be on the left. So I do hope he starts for Barca, because the sky's the limit for this kid, man. This kid is amazing to watch. Like, he's really entertaining to watch. He's controlling in tight spaces. Like, especially that goal he scored today, that was a quality goal. Speaking of side chick, HA, did you see that penalty he missed yesterday? My goodness.
Great. No, what's it called? Wilton. He told us that he deserves to be Ballon d'Or. He told us that he's the top 3 best players in the world. Wilton, after I've done this, I'm going to go finish The Boys, watch Lakers against the Rockets, and I'm going to play my Nintendo Switch. I have no time for Griezmann or a side chick. Okay, I have no time for that dude. Okay, I've been told people that this guy, he's a fraud. He was never as good as people thought he was. The guy's a flipping fraud. All right, what was it called? I'm Ham. Talk to me, Ansu Fati. How good do you think the guy can be?
I think, like, when you watch him play, I think, like, Ansu Fati, he looks like a player that's, like, at least in his 20s. At least you think of a player, he plays like he's a player that's, like, 23 or 24 or something. But I think this whole hype of expectation that he'll be a Ballon d'Or winner or Like I saw his goal. I think he's very good, but I think like
No,
he
no,
hasn't
but
shown
how
anything
good do you
spectacular.
think he will be? I need a definitive thing. 4 years time, does he become one of the best players in the world, or does he end up like Mario Götze, all hype and wastes all the talent?
I don't think it's possible for him to be all hype. I think from what I've seen, at least, he's got a lot of talent. I mean, he's playing at Barcelona, a team that demands a lot of technical ability, and he's shown it. So I think he's got a great future in football. But I don't think that trying to make him the new Messi or in that line of players for Barcelona is just
See, I
appalling.
hate whenever people say we will never see another Messi in our lifetime. We never will.
No,
So
I'm
Messi
saying
is just Messi. He's what is, and people have to sort of recreate their own selves, because we will never ever see somebody with Messi's consistency ever
We saw Lewandowski.
in our lifetime. So my whole question is, don't even mention the Messi. Do you think when he reaches his peak, he'll be amongst the best players in the world, or do you think he will end up like Mario Götze?
Mario Götze at his peak was among the best players in the world. But yeah, I think he will be among the best players.
True.
I think
World Cup winner.
World Cup winner.
Disrespectful.
I
That's
think he's
disrespectful.
competing with players like Odegaard and Gunsmoke Gunwood. I mean Greenwood. So yeah, I think he's got a lot of talent. His shoulder's got a lot of talent, and we just have to wait and see what happens.
Okay. I test Ansu Fati, man. Talk to me. Do you think that he will end up being one of the best players in the world when he reaches his peak, or are we seeing the Spanish Mario Götze?
For me, when I see players like Greenwood, when I see players like Pulisic,
Greenwood.
when I see players like when I see players like Saka from Arsenal, I look at them and I'm like, they're very talented young players. But when I look at players like Mbappe and Ansu Fati, there's something else. They're on another level. 17, bro. 17.
Dude, he still has 2 years of being a teenager. His balls haven't dropped yet.
Bro,
Relax.
listen, this guy.
Wait, hasn't? What do you mean? What did they haven't?
What?
He's 17.
Watching him today, bro.
No. But ITES, look, ITES, you call yourself ITES, so obviously you understand the game better than most guys based on how you view guys. So ITES, I need a specific answer.
Bro.
Is this guy going to be the best player in the world when he reaches his peak? Yes or no?
He's the best young player in the world. He's up there with Mbappe. Under 25, he's the.
Whoa, Mbappe, bro, relax. He didn't
Him and
reach
Mbappe are the top two. Him and Mbappe are the top two. They're going to be the top two players in the world very soon. I'm telling you. He's unbelievable. Okay. What he did today was unbelievable.
Okay. What's it called? Sorry. Let's just get this chatty. So from Mr. Matthias Mizune, Djokovic fans come outside. The man has truly bottled. This is orgasmic. What the F was he thinking? Football in the mud, tennis. What? Oh yeah, this is obviously because he got kicked out of the US Open because of he hits a linesman. Yeah, look, it is what it is, man. I think that was just harsh. Real football, Ansu Fati, does he become a GOAT, a world player moving forth?
So when I look at Ansu Fati, I do see a talented player there, but I don't think he'll be a legend of the game. I feel like I see him and I see if his career goes like how I expect, I will see maybe he'll end up like a Di Maria, who's like some games he's brilliant, and then there's some games where he's just another player. I don't think he's going to be as consistent in order to be considered a legend. And we tend to see this a lot in big clubs that have bad seasons. There's always a young player that sparks hopes into people's dreams. Like when Manchester United first went down, I forgot what the Belgian player's name. Juanzi. I forgot what his name was, but he was a Belgian player that was really young.
Januzaj, is it
Ad-
Januzaj?
Adnan Januzaj.
Yeah, Januzaj. Everyone expected him to be the next Cristiano Ronaldo, and I mean, they don't play the same position, but everyone had a lot of hope for him, and he scored goals. He looked impressive, but things didn't work out. So I do think he'll be a good player. Some games he'll show that he's world class, but I think that he'll end up, I'll say, a Di Maria caliber player, which isn't bad.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But based on his hype, if he becomes Di Maria, that would be a disappointment. Natsa, let me guess. Ferran Torres plays for Man City, doesn't he? Just a wild guess. He plays for Man City. Ferran Torres is the best youngster in the world. Funny. How come nobody ever talks about him?
What?
Interesting. Just wait and see when he gets running in the Premier League. Natsa, thank you for the super chat, but you are completely and utterly wrong. You are out of your mind. The only person on the entire planet who has said Ferran Torres is the best player, youngster in the world is you. Ferran Torres himself doesn't even call himself the best youngster in the world. So Natsa, congrats, well done. You're the only human being who considers Ferran Torres as the best young player in the world. My Lord in heaven. Trudare, what do you think of Martin Odegaard? Prove to me that you're worth the hype. So I believe he's now back at Real Madrid. You're now back in the big time. You're not associated anymore. All right. You're now in the big leagues. Odegaard. All right. La Liga is starting soon. I will now be using the eye test and watch you and see how good you are. I don't care about your stats. Let me now see whether you're worth flipping hype then, Mr. Martin Odegaard. What's it called? Armchair critic, Ansu Fati. What do you think? Are we seeing the future of football in the next 4 or 5 years' time?
I guess we are. He's one of the few bright spots of football. I think he's up there.
In 5 years, this is going to be 22.
I mean, we're talking about him realizing his potential, right? So I think his ceiling is like upper tier 2, maybe tier 1. But given the records that he's already broken, he's established himself as the youngest goal scorer in Champions League history, in Spanish history. So I think, as you said, if he turns out to be a Di Maria, then it will be a disappointment. But I think, given how technically gifted he is, he already seems a very polished player. I think he plays with a lot of confidence. Every time I see him on the field, he always brings a calming presence to the attack, and he offers something that we always lacked this season, which is width. I think Dembele was supposed to provide that, but the injuries hampered him. So I think the next season, with Dembele on the right wing and with him on the left and Messi playing as a central playmaker, and with Griezmann up front, I think that we're looking at a really potent attack. But I think Koeman will have to put faith in him and establish him as a regular starter because he shows tremendous potential. I think if you put me on the spot, then I think he will become a world-class player. I think he's currently behind Mbappe, and if you include this season, then possibly behind Alphonso Davies as the third or fourth best youngster in the world. Yeah.
Okay. Shout out to Mr. Kosi Arkeo. Thank you for the dub donation. Very much obliged. Peter, Ansu Fati, man, talk to me. Are we seeing a future star in the making, or are we being too reactionary?
I think it's too reactionary. I think you need to give him
He's 17,
give the man some time. Give the man some time. Exactly. He's 17. Give him some time to actually enjoy and play his football without any pressure. Because at 17, okay, not at 17, but at 19, 20, you wouldn't have thought Götz's career was going to go the way it did. And then bing, bang, boom, he's struggling to start for Dortmund. So you can't predict these things at all. So I think just give it some time. Let him prove himself another 2 years. Like Mbappe, it's taken Mbappe 3 years for some people to accept. I know people who only accept Mbappe for what he is because he's been doing it for 3 years. and he's been doing it in the Champions League and the
Well,
World Cup.
no. Guys, we're talking
The
about
fact-
Mbappe when he was 18, when he did what he did for Monaco in the Champions League.
Some of the people I know don't count that because actually it doesn't matter if you did it for Monaco or PSG. The fact he was in France, they don't care. But so that's what I think. Give him some time to actually prove himself in Spain, in La Liga, a bit more Champions League. Because what if he just ends up being another Ravel Morrison, or just another Adnan Januzaj? Because Januzaj for one season was the hot stuff, and no one knows where he is today. I think it might be Valencia, I'm not sure. But no one knows where he is today. So I don't want to happen to Ansu Fati. Just let him breathe, he's 17.
Sorry, I'm sorry, but
No, that is true though. It's just, if you watch old documentary when Robinho got out,
Robinho was meant to be the next Pele.
Yeah. People were actually saying he was gonna.
Yeah,
be the next
talent-wise.
Pele.
Yeah, I've heard that
Talent-wise,
before.
people were actually
Man,
saying
that guy's talent
In
was
terms of talent, yeah.
insane.
Talent-wise, they say he
Bro,
was
I told you, I remember 1000% when Robinho came. The talk around Robinho was not the same as R9 or even Dini.
Nah, it was more than R9.
What?
Yeah,
You
bro.
see, this is where I've got to use my age here as a cheat code. Because you see, I'm probably older than most of you guys here. So I fully remember when Robinho started. I fully remember when R9 started. So I fully remember their thing. And the hype around, I'll tell you this. The hype around R9 was, again, I don't know what it was like for Pele and so forth, but the hype around R9 for a youngster is the biggest that I've ever seen for a young player ever.
No, yeah, that was the.
Can I say one thing? Can I say one thing real quick?
So for me, you guys now say that.
Yeah.
It's like if you're trying to compare the hype for Robinho, that it was more than Ronaldo. R9?
Pele personally named them his here. Pele has only named 3 people. He was gonna live up to Pele's name, and Robinho was one of them.
Just like your boy Junior. Junior is supposed to be the next big Brazilian star, but we know where he's at now.
That guy's skills.
Also, HH, didn't Ronaldo come out when you were a teenager? That's why you felt it more, because didn't Ronaldo come out as a big star when isn't he roughly the same age as you?
Wait, R9.
Yeah.
Look, I tell you, my age is a secret.
But he's roughly the same age as you.
That I fully remember when R9 came out, and I remember the massive bro. He was so big that FIFA, his name was a trademark. You couldn't even.
HH was born in '84.
They just called him like number 9 because his name was a trademark. Like the sponsorships. This was when this dude was 20. When the dude was 2021. He had all the Nike sponsorships. He was in all the ads, and he was already called. That's why he was called the phenomenon, because guys say, "How can a guy be this good at 20 and 2021?"
At one point, they say he was.
What are we talking about here? You know,
we said the next Pele. Or was supposed to be the next greatest football player of all time. He was supposed to be number 1. We're talking about
who?
Pele. R9.
Yeah, no.
This guy was supposed to be the number 1, but we know what happened.
Like basically, that's what. Again, I don't want to derail things, but if R9 didn't get the injuries, he was supposed to be okay. This is probably the greatest thing we've ever seen, ever, because it was like you're watching an alien. Literally, you're watching an alien, an unstoppable force. Natsa says, "We'll see when Ferran
again
scores 3 against Chelsea." Natsa,
he played well though. Ferran played well today.
Wait, Natsa, I've got one word for you: Leon.
Damn! Why you gotta do him like that?
That's really what I got for you, Leon. Basically, sort out Leon first, before you talk to me about just sort out. See, basically, Nancy, this is what I'll say to you. Do you know what it feels like to play in a Champions League final? Have you ever played in a Champions League final? Do you know what it feels like to see a club in a Champions League final? Do you? I think you do know. I think you do. Semis is close, but not close enough. So where are we right now? So Saeed, Ansu Fati, talk to me.
I love this guy so much. Ansu Fati. If anyone knows anything about football, Ansu Fati is. I put him up there with Mbappe as like he's gonna. Ansu Fati if he lives up to his potential, will be amazing, fantastic. One of the best players of his generation. And this is me as a United fan, and we have Greenwood, and we have Marcus Ballon d'Or Rashford. We have Ansu Fati. People talk about Sancho, and no, Ansu Fati is better than a lot of these young players. For me, the only thing that scares me about Ansu Fati is that he is at Barcelona, and then the way Barcelona and Osman Dembele, the way that relationship happened, where Dembele, in my opinion, I still believe he's more talented than Mbappe, but I don't think we're ever gonna see that talent flourish like it because of his injuries, and also I feel like the way Barcelona treats Ansu Fati and Dembele, for me, is disgraceful. Ansu Fati didn't even play against Bayern, and I think he came
No.
during halftime.
So, do you believe Ansu Fati will be the best player in the world when he becomes his peak? Yes or no?
He's Barcelona's best player right now, other than Messi. Let that sink in. He's Barcelona's best player right now.
Easy, the oos.
The oos does well though.
The oos.
Ansu Fati is Barcelona's best player.
Hazem, shush. Said is talking, shush.
HH, what's so interesting, right? You say, the torch, the passion of the torch. You got Dino, Messi to name. You're supposed to be Neymar. We might see the torch pass to Ansu Fati. This
Easy.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes.
You can't say that. Side,
yes,
you
I'm
can't
saying
say that.
I am saying that you will not slap me. No.
Side, you can't. Side, I'm telling you, you can't say that.
He's that special.
Side, easy. Side, you're telling me that Fati is on the same level as Romario, R9,
my God,
Dino, Messi, Neymar. Side, are you sick?
He's not that talented. He's that talented. He's going to be Barcelona's best player.
You cannot tell me Fati is on the same talent level as the names I just spouted out. I'm talking about some of the best players that the game has ever seen. Romario, R9, Rivaldo, Dino, Neymar, Messi. Fati is not on that level.
Okay, HH, I think you're misunderstanding me. I don't think he's going to... right now he's not going to be at that level. But with his talent and his potential, he's going to be in that conversation. I guarantee you.
No, but I said that you can't tell that from what you've seen right now. Like, as of right now, there is nothing that shows us that, man, he can now be...
My eyes don't lie. My eyes don't lie. My eyes don't lie.
Fati has the potential to be one of the best players we've ever seen in the history of the game.
Yes, for Barcelona. Yes. If Barcelona takes care of him. If Barcelona takes care of him, yes. If Barcelona believes in this player, if Barcelona gives them the platform, tells them, go ahead and play, go ahead and showcase your talent, he will destroy. He will win Ballon d'Ors. He will, guaranteed.
No.
You're smoking. Wait. So easy. Let me make it a super chat. From a boy Natsa. Have you ever beaten City 6-0? Sacrifice, baby. Natsa. It shows how you've got a small club mentality. You celebrate beating Chelsea 6-0. We celebrate winning Champions Leagues. We have a Champions League. What do you have?
And we have 7.
Natsa, your club has spent how much? How many Champions League? You spent how much more money? And you've never ever even played it in a Champions League final. Small club mentality. Natsa, before you even get to speak about Chelsea, show me a Champions League. If you can show me a Champions League, you're not in this big boy conversation. First win the Champions League, then you can sit at the big boy table. Natsa, have some respect for your elders. Have some respect for your elders. No Champions League winning club, man.
Can I say something about Ansu Fati?
Ro, talk, baby. Talk. Go for it.
All right. So I think he's good, but the main difference between him is that, all right, he scored that goal against Ukraine. And yeah, he might have scored a good goal against Inter, but besides that, what else has he done? Like he's good, and I know you're saying he's 17 years old. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, Mbappe at 17 scored against. I believe he scored. He was one of the main reasons why Man City were knocked out, even though Man City were huge favorites.
What's he 18 then?
I believe he was 17.
He was.
He was 18.
Was he 17?
He was. Either,
He was. And Papa was
he
17.
was probably.
Papa was
Oh,
17.
yeah, maybe you're right. Yeah, because his birthday is in December. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
So he was 17. Yeah, and then on top of that, he besides excluding the Champions League final, he was the player that ended Juventus' clean sheet run in the Champions League in the semifinals. So he has showed up in the big stages, but Ansu Fati, he scored a goal against Inter that were already finished, and he scored a good goal against Ukraine. So, like, no offense to anyone here, but I hear people speaking so highly of him, and it just
But you
doesn't
don't
make
watch La
sense.
Liga though. It's
I do watch
obvious.
La Liga. I
Easy,
watch
easy.
every
don't
game
watch
of La
La
Liga.
Liga, though. It's
I
obvious.
watch every game of La Liga.
Wait,
That's
wait,
not
let's
true,
okay,
bro.
okay,
That's not true.
wait, easy. Let me just deal with Natsa. Biggest CL fluke of all time doesn't count,
What?
baby. Natsa, I told you, you're not allowed at the big boy table. Bouncers, can you remove this no Champions League winning club from this table? Can you please throw this guy out onto the street? You don't get to talk. You're a domestic team.
I think he's speaking about
All
Brazil.
you want is you're a domestic club. You're not a world class club. You're a domestic club. Until you win, you're not even been in a Champions League final. You've not even been in a Champions League final. Once, who cares? We have a Champions League. You don't have a Champions. Do you even have a Europa League? Do you even have a Europa Cup?
You don't even have a fluke.
You have nothing.
Aston Villa,
So Nats, I'm sorry. Your club is a domestic club. Your club is a fish and chips club. That's what your club is a fish and chips club. Until you win a European trophy, you are a domestic team. Don't you dare be. I don't want to see you anywhere near this big boy table, or else you will be thrown out. Thank you. The heck?
Can I finish my statement?
Even better than Villa. Wow.
Okay, Ro, finish your statement. Ro, finish your statement.
All right, so I said that he hasn't done anything spectacular. Like he hasn't done it in the big stage, but I do think he's hurting his career tremendously by choosing Spain over Portugal. I believe that
What?
No, the Portugal.
Wait,
team
how
is
so?
good.
How so?
Because Portugal. All right, so you see Spain's starting XL. I mean, I know a lot of them. I know Luis Enrique was trying out a lot of the players, but Portugal is going into, I guess you would call it their second golden era, and I believe Ansu Fati's father said that his dream was for Ansu Fati to play for Portugal, not Spain. But
Okay.
so with Ansu Fati in Portugal's team, Ansu Fati would have a much better chance of winning the World Cup and establishing his legacy.
No. But then the response to that is Portugal have one of the best young squads and teams out there. So first of all, it's actually going to be very hard for him to even establish himself in there, because does he even make the team with the amount of amazing young players they have and their veterans? But with Spain, Ansu Fati is already one of the guy's best players, so you are guaranteed to play as well. And who knows what other kind of talents that Spain may have. So for me, it makes sense for him to go with Spain, because Spain would always, even before Spain won the World Cup, they were still good players. It's just that they didn't have the generation, but they were still quality players. So Ansu Fati, as we've seen, is an amazing player. But if they now continue, you've got Rodrigo coming through, Ferran Torres, all these guys coming through. The key thing is, does he get into this Portugal team, which I think would be far harder for him to get into than the Spain team. Because at the Spain, because it's almost like this is that, would you want to be, do you want to be a servant in a castle or a king in a village? If he goes for Portugal, you're just going to be a squad player. For Spain, you're a starter and you're potentially like a star. Bro,
that's true.
I
That is true. He probably won't be getting the same opportunities that he'll be getting in Spain. But if he's as good as everyone says he is, then he should. Then anyways, he in the future he'll still be starting for Portugal and he'll still be getting into the Portugal squad.
No, and also as well, look at Spain's dominance. What was okay about Spain's dominance it was mainly Barcelona, Real Madrid. So Ansu Fati is coming into a national team that have the same kind of psychology as Barcelona because it's Spain. So there is a Spanish mentality that he knows very well, that he shares with everyone. If he goes to Portugal, he's now bringing that Spanish mentality to Portuguese mentality. How will that sort of flow? So you've spent so much time for Spain, so long. You know the culture so well. You know the footballing culture so well. It's a far easier transition to get into the national team than you go for that. But wait, Mograbatsu says Nottingham Forest have 2 UCLs bigger than Chelsea and Oil FC. They won the 2 UCLs in the 1600s. Okay.
Don't
Still count. It still counts.
Doesn't matter.
Can I land? Thank you. They won the 2 UCLs in the 1600s. No one remembers when they won the 2 UCLs. It wasn't even called the Champions League.
Same as Milan.
It
Milan
wasn't
like
called
half of
the
their.
Champions League. It was called the King Arthur's Trophy. King Arthur brought it out during medieval times. So don't talk to me about a club who won Champions League during medieval times. Talk to me about modern day age. In the modern day, Chelsea have won it. Nottingham Forest haven't won it in the modern day age, and Man City still can't get past the semi-final. Thank you very much. Please, guys, don't do this. You guys, I'm the best at this. Don't test your boy. Stodge, talk to me about Ansu Fati. Stodge, talk to me about Ansu Fati.
Yeah, Ansu Fati, for me, he's a good talent. He's not the way you guys are describing him. This is not a generational talent, in my opinion. I think you guys are banking on a player that, in my opinion, for me to say a player is going to be the greatest player of all time, I don't need to see some good skills. I need to see extraordinary
That's what Junior
stuff.
does. That's what Neymar does. That's what he does.
Neymar can do the extraordinary with the ball. I haven't seen any of that, even in glimpses from Ansu Fati.
What?
You know, I'm not gonna call Ansu Fati a bad player because against Germany he was useless. Every time he had the ball, he looked useless. Against Bulgaria, he scored. That doesn't suddenly make him the greatest player. He's had moments this season, but he hasn't. If he's this talented, he hasn't cemented his place in the starting lineup. Even though Valverde and both managers really liked him, but he just hasn't got it. And for me, I think you guys are insulting a lot of young talents in the world. For you to be even saying this guy's top 10, I don't see how this guy's top 10.
Okay.
In my opinion, there's only 3 talents that I would bank on.
No. But Stodge, yes or no? Is he one of the best young players in the world right now?
Yeah, he's top 20.
What? Okay, who's your top 5, Studs? Please name your top 5.
Top 5,
please.
Okay, Mbappe.
Donnarumma.
What?
Donnarumma.
No. Okay.
What?
Give me
Rafael Leao.
Mbappe. Who else?
Donnarumma.
Yeah.
Upamecano
over Davis? Okay, go ahead. Whatever.
Are you crazy? This guy Ansu Fati should not even be in the same sentence.
Wait, guys, stop talking. So Mbappe, who was the next one?
Donnarumma.
Upamecano.
Upamecano, right? Saka has been way better.
Stodge gets the hell out of this hangout.
No.
You think? No. You only name 4.
Okay, I'm gonna say another player. Let me just say my 3 generational players because the 3 players I'm gonna bank on.
Saka.
Bro, Saka's been better than Ansu Fati this season.
Sancho, you can name many, man.
Sancho as well. You can name so many. Pulisic. I mean, you guys are Havertz. Haaland, I mean, why are you overrating this guy to this extent? Like he's suddenly the best. He's performed against Bulgaria. Plenty of players have scored against Bulgaria. I mean, when's the last time Bulgaria even made the Euros? You guys, what are we talking about?
That's fair enough.
Anyway, my three generational talents. I'm going to tell you now, right? Okay, this is actually I'm going to say 2 because this other player they need to give him growth hormones because he's a midget. He's this young kid at Celtic. But the other 2, you need to watch out for these 2 names: Youssoufa Moukoko. He plays for Dortmund. I think he's 16-year-old. He is ridiculous. And another name, I feel like if this guy, I would call this guy, he is Martial. If Martial could use his left foot, because Martial, this is the secret about Martial, he only dribbles with 1 foot. So if this is a guy that can use both feet, he's like an explosive Martial with both feet. And if this guy can get everything together, you will see one of the best forwards this generation in the next 10 years. And his name is Rafael Leao. Watch out for this guy. He is so talented. He is so
Yeah,
talented.
man, relax.
An eye on him. I'm
Hazard,
telling you now.
come on.
He is basically a much better version of Martial.
So,
What?
then name your top
What?
five.
What?
talent-wise, yeah,
Disrespect.
talent-wise.
Stop.
Studs,
Bro,
you are
this
scoring
kid
in
is
Spain,
amazing.
man.
This kid is amazing.
Anyone
Stop.
watch L? Oh
The
my
next
God.
10 years, I'm telling you now, watch out for these two players. Next 10 years, Yusuf
So name your top
Mokoko
five, sir.
and
Please name
Rafael
your
Leao.
top five.
Yeah,
Studs,
I've
just
named the
keep the
top
same
five,
energy.
man.
Just keep the same
I'm
energy.
just
That's all I'm
looking
gonna
at the
say.
live chat. I'm looking at the live chat. People in the live chat are actually saying Saka is better than Ansu Fati. So people are actually saying Saka is better than
EPL
Ansu.
He
merchant.
is HH.
Bro,
EPL
he
merchant.
is. Come on.
EPL
What has
merchant.
Fati done really?
The EPL
Fati has had,
merchant.
Why do people do this?
HH,
Why?
Fati can't even start ahead of Griezmann and you call him a brick. So
Yeah,
what are we talking
bro.
about?
You saw Leo's goal against Juventus. Yeah, he did it
Guys,
again.
Exactly. Bro, Leao is amazing.
get a subscription to La
Hey,
Liga and
you
actually
forgetting
watch
Fati
football.
17. Sidecheck should be starting. What the heck?
Okay,
I
okay,
think
okay, wait. We need to bring in some other guys. Bring in some other guys. So, Samata, man, talk to me. Ansu Fati, is he the next big thing? How do you rate Ansu Fati?
Ansu Fati, what a great talent he is. I've been watching Barcelona for over 20 years. I know everything about the youth system. Ansu Fati, he's from Sevilla, I believe. Sevilla's a youth center. So he's not a La Masia product, but he's got extreme potential. But I do fear that he might just turn into the next Pedro. Very similar in the way they play. But I don't think he'll reach the potential of Mbappe or even a Messi in that regard.
Yeah,
But we'll see, man. I'm excited for the dude. He might give Barcelona a different dimension in the upcoming season. Griezmann, because I think you all heard the quote with Ronald Koeman saying that Ansu Fati is more suited in playing in a more central role than just being dashed out in the wings. And Barcelona, I think they've got Dembele and Coutinho on each side. So I would like to see Ansu Fati in a more central role, probably in place of Griezmann. I'm not too sure about that. So, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's my assessment of Ansu Fati
Okay.
so far.
Nuts. Here we go again. Foden better than Fati this season.
Foden
Nasa.
doesn't play. Like he barely.
I
started
know that
playing.
you're a Man City fan. First of all, Nata, why do you have a photo of Messi wearing a Man City jersey?
Foden is
Nata, he's not
20.
coming to your club.
Foden is 20.
Relax,
Fati's
okay?
17.
Dreamland.
So, first of all, Nata, change that avatar to Pep Guardiola picking grass and kneeling down with the word lep ahead of his bald head. Change it to that. And Foden
It's
is
20.
Foden
20.
is not on the level of Ansu Fati. Natsa, you are being
17,
a
man.
club merchant right now.
17.
My God, heaven. So it's like, how can you be spouting this when you've never even sniffed a CL final? Guys are crazy. Look, man, San Maya, man, talk to me about Ansu Fati, man. Can Ansu Fati be the next big thing in the future?
Yeah, from what I've seen, Ansu Fati has been excellent for a 17-year-old, like scoring against Inter Milan in the Champions League, and then Valencia in the La Liga. Like he's showing like great potential. But in order to determine if Fati will ever be elite or like even generational talent, I think I have to see more of him. At the moment, I think Fati should be able to reach world-class level when he enters his prime, but I don't think Fati is as talented as like an Mbappe or Sancho.
What?
Okay. So wait, so who else hasn't spoken on this? I'm Ham, you've spoken on this, haven't you?
HH, can I
Ham.
say something real quick?
Yeah, but let me speak again because I think
No. You
you-
don't have Side. What's you about to say?
you
Side.
are
All I want to say to the Hangout, to the live chat, to you, HH, to myself, is that let's keep the same energy. Whatever you said right now, and whatever opinion you believe, stick with it. Because I don't want people to like start backpedaling, and be like, I didn't say this.
Sai-
I didn't
Said,
say
I
that, or
almost
whatever.
guarantee that you will be wrong because you opened
Okay.
your mouth and said that Fati has the same talent and potential to be as good as Messi, Neymar, R9, and others, man.
I'm gonna die with that opinion. Okay, I'm gonna stick with that opinion. I'm gonna die with that opinion. But I want people to keep the same energy, and I'm aiming that towards Studge. Because what you said today, or all the stuff you said, keep the same energy. That's all I'm gonna
I'll
say.
keep the same energy. In fact, I'll
Okay.
give you another prediction. In 7
Alright.
years, he'll play for Everton.
Okay.
That
There you go.
All right.
There you
All
go.
right.
What is that prediction? Oh my God.
Stodge, why are you
Let me
such a hater?
like he's covering the
He's
21
okay. He's okay.
Why are you
I felt Boyan was more impressive than this guy, and he ended up at Stoke. I mean, he's
Oh,
okay.
Okay.
You're just
Yeah.
hating.
Okay. I mean,
See, this is just hating.
Let me
This
speak
is
about
just hating. Bojan, really? Is that what
bro,
we're doing now?
Yeah, Bojan was talented,
Boyan
man.
was very talented.
Yeah.
Gertz, we've seen plenty of players. I mean, HH, in order for you to be the way you guys are talking about him, as if he's in there with Pele, Messi,
Whoever-
R9. That's the way you're describing. Like he's gonna
No, we
take
just say he's-
Barca.
We just say
Like that's what basically Yasser was saying. He's gonna take the crown from Messi. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's just not that talented.
he's
What
better
we
than
saying?
Bob Sterling.
taking your
I'll tell you
crown.
That's what I believe, but I'm gonna stick with it. Just stick with your opinion, and I respect your opinion, though. Even though I think it's crazy,
And you also stick with yours because you're the one that's saying he's gonna be like the greatest of all time.
I didn't say he's gonna be the greatest of all time, but he's gonna be one of the greatest of all time.
Guys, easy. I'm coming. I have to read the super chats. You see, this super chat from the Veg pretty much ends. See, after this super chat, Natsa, I think you have to just stop speaking. Natsa, you should sleep after I read the super chat from the Veg. Thank you. Natsa, even Belgrade have more sales than you. Hashtag 6 times. Natsa, I'm begging you to please go to bed and just sleep hand in hand. Red Star Belgrade have more Champions Leagues than Manchester City.
Hamburg too.
Okay, so
Yo, HH, let me speak on Bojan. Sorry, Ansu Fati.
by this guy's a Bojan. Wait. Okay, let me just hit this and then I'll come to you. Alex says Mbappe, Sancho, Haaland, Felix, Odegaard, Kamavinga, top 6.
Mbappe's 21.
Haaland.
Yeah, I mean,
Why for Felix, man?
Mbappe still counts as okay. So what is the cutoff? Is the cutoff 20?
19.
You have to know.
16 to 19.
What counts as a young player? Okay, look, Hazem, speak to me about Ansu Fati, man. Speak to me.
Look, man, all I'm saying is, like, all the people that are hyping him, I agree with you if we're just speaking about talent, yeah. Talent-wise, but there's many talented players, but there's a difference between being talented and actually what is he going to achieve in his career. And, like, for example, we saw with Donnarumma at 16, he already started, and then 17, he was top 3 keepers in Serie. But that was not just because of talent that he kept on going until now. It's because of talent, mentality, leadership, and in general, consistency. You have to stay consistent and not fall into the hype because there's so many players being hyped. Like, for example, Hachem Mastour. He was like, they were saying his talent is unbelievable, his skills are unbelievable.
Was massive hype.
Yeah, and then nothing happened. You can't just hype these players based on talent alone and eye test. And this is the problem with the eye test team of HH and the whole HH brigade with the eye test. Eye test is eye test is fine, but you can only use eye test. This is the problem. You have to use everything.
I need it, man.
Don't use eye test. Then Hachem Mastour was supposed to be the greatest dribbler of all time, and so forth. You can't just use eye test and Ben Arfa and all these guys. Eye test is important, but if you want to determine where a player will go, you have to see where his mentality is, and whether he's injury prone or not, whether he's able. What team is he playing for? In Barcelona, where is Barcelona going now? If is he going to develop at Barcelona? I don't know about that.
No, Barcelona's trash. He needs to leave.
Exactly. Talent-wise, no doubt about it. Ansu Fati, I say he has talent to become even as good as Neymar. But is he gonna do it? It's hard to say. It's too early. He's still 17, and I think the chance of him reaching that level currently it's low. As things stand. But let's see, man. Well, yeah, they have to consider many things.
All right, look. So I want to take things to this next topic right now. I want to look at next season. So, well, the season for the Premier League starts next weekend. So, by the time we do next week's show, the Premier League would have been gone. So, and I think we touched upon it like a bit on yesterday's show, which is, what we're looking at, what team are going to do what they did this season. Look, San Maya, we're going to give you your dog, man. Bayern Munich totally destroyed everything in their path. They had an outstanding season, and it is definitely one of the best and most commanding treble seasons we've ever seen. And Bayern Munich showed that, put some respect on the Bundesliga and so forth, because we crushed Bundesliga and we said, what's up in 8-2. So these are the teams I think we have to watch out for. Of course, you could look at Bayern. You still have to look at PSG. I still say Liverpool. Man City, yeah, I suppose, because it's still Man City. Although, see, the reason why I worry about Man City is I don't know how much that Lyon loss would have damaged them psychologically and mentally, because I think that could have been seriously damaging, and I don't know how damaging that miss by Raheem Sterling could have been. Because
they'll come good, man. They'll come good.
End your career. That kind of miss in terms of it's mental. So City, just as City, that it's Pep, they still have the team and the players and so forth, and they could get Koulibaly as well. But I will still reiterate what I said. We will not see what Real Madrid did for a very long time. I think it's going to be a long time until a team defends their title. Everyone said, it's going to be Liverpool, it's going to be Liverpool. So what Atletico did. You see, the thing with Bayern Munich is, I respect what they did this season. It was absolutely outstanding, but I've got questions. If Thiago Alcantara leaves, do they have a replacement for him? Leroy Sané is very exciting, looks good. Team's getting older, Alaba is getting older, and of course, and Lewandowski is getting older as well. So, and my thing is, when you win so in such an outstanding fashion, how do you remotivate the team to go again? How do you keep the team hungry? So Bayern are definitely going to be there, but Juventus, I've got questions about Pirlo.
Please don't say Juventus. Juventus, are you serious?
I've got questions about Pirlo and so forth. So look, man, let me just run through what you think the big teams are going to do, how you think they're going to operate, and let's just have a discussion as to which teams do you think are there to watch out for, and which teams do you think will rule the roost next season and why. So Wilton, kick us off, man.
All right. First of all, in the Premier League, Manchester City is gonna win the Prem. Bundesliga, Bayern's gonna win that. La Liga.
Wait, easy. Why Man City?
Wait, let me just okay. Man City's gonna win it because Pep is Lep is a domestic merchant, so that's what he's Lep is a domestic merchant, so he's gonna win that. He has to bounce back from that Lyon loss, so he's gonna win the league. Especially when they sign Koulibaly, yeah, they're gonna win the league. Then Bundesliga, Bayern already won that. Serie, Juve already won that 10 in a row. It's official. La Liga, Real Madrid. I'm pretty sure we have to win that. We can't let Messi win La Liga in his last season. Like, nah, it can't happen. And French
Wilton, don't be harsh, man. Give him a nice going away presence, man.
PSG already won the French League, the Champions League, the big boys. I'm gonna put Bayern as favorite just because they're not gonna defend it. I know that, but I'm gonna put them just because they're the best team in Europe right now. And of course, I have to put Real Madrid on there. Like we the GOAT. We run the competition. Without Real Madrid, there's no.
Who's playing on the rights for Real Madrid? Who's playing on the right?
Rodrigo.
Vinicius.
Then
who?
I am. Then third.
Wait. Okay, Wilson, let me ask you: do you believe in Rodrigo?
Rodrigo, of course. After what he did to that, was it Kyle Walker? He did that.
Thank you,
Cancelo.
After, I have to believe in my youngster because I didn't buy anybody this summer. I'm gonna have to. Be, especially your fat Eden Hazard. Please, I don't care. Just show up, please. We spent $100 million.
Okay. God's feeling.
That's not good enough.
Do you think? Let me see the guy something, man. So Wilton, do you believe we will see Zad this season? Yes or no?
I want to. I'm gonna say yes because I'm being hopeful, but it's like 80, 50, maybe 5%. We're not gonna see him. Hazard, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's a mentally thing or is it.
He's
I don't know.
finished.
Like I don't know. Like because people telling me the Premier League, oh, it's the best league of all time. But I'm like, if it's so great, why can't he just dominate in La Liga? Since y'all always say the Premier is the best league, greatest league ever created. Because La Liga, people tell me it's a farmers league, so I'm guessing he should be stat padding in
Yeah.
the farmers league. That's what he
He
should.
turned up overweight, man. He turned up overweight. So I don't know why, but he turned up overweight,
But
bro.
he said
Not the
he
whole
would make
season.
up for next season. But the only way I would upset Zard if you give me that Champions League, because I really don't care about La Liga. That's small club mentality. I want the Champions League. That's what I want. I don't care if you win the La Liga, Copa del Rey, the Super Cup. Zard, I need that Champions League. That's what we bought you for, man.
Okay. Roll for Boldman. What teams are there to watch out for next? What teams are going to?
Okay. So first, before I talk about the Champions League, I just want to talk a little bit about La Liga. So I'm a Madrid fan, but I think like the way I look at my club is the way I guess the closest way is like what's his name? Ites? I forgot what his name was. Well, anyways, yeah. So I don't think it's out of the question to say that Barcelona have a big possibility of winning La Liga next season, because look, Barcelona barely lost La Liga to Real Madrid with a horrendous season. They had a bad manager, they had bad players throughout the season. They're taking a lot of these players, and Coleman looks like he knows what he's doing, and he looks like he knows how to get the best out of players. Just by the way I saw Netherlands play. So if he brings in Depay and if he brings in Wijnaldum, I think that Barcelona can really say something in La Liga. But and like Madrid, Benzema's getting older. Vinicius, I just don't rate him. I don't see.
Wait. Hold up. Vinicius, why don't you rate him? Because he was very important and very effective for your title run. Why don't you rate
He was all right. No. He was important, and like he did show up in the big games, but he was not crucial to the title run. And that's where I said, all right. Can I finish? First, let me say something. So Vinicius does not have a good football IQ. He does not he just does not know how to make that last pass. It seems like every time there's an opportunity to make that last pass, he does one more step or one more touch, and then he ends up he always ends up dribbling the ball outside of the box, outside of the field. Like I've seen every Madrid game last season, and I'm telling you, this happens so many times. Vinicius does not have a good football IQ. All right, and now going to Rodrigo. I think he's good, but I don't see him Real Madrid caliber. Now he's still young, that's true, but I like personally, I do not see him making that step. Now I don't know if you want to take this comment until after I go into the Champions League, because that's what I want to talk about next. Okay, all right, yeah.
Okay.
So,
what's it called? I am Ham. Teams to watch out for next season.
No, sorry. I was gonna talk. I thought you were gonna say something about the comments. You just showed a comment.
Okay, real quick. Sorry, round up. Okay, round up. Go for it.
Okay, so for the Champions League, for Real Madrid, so in 2001 or 2002, I forgot when they won it. After they won the Champions League, you saw them go into this little spell of not being able to pass the group of 16 or around the 16. For some reason, I feel like Real Madrid's falling into that same pattern right now, where you see them get knocked out of the Champions League 2 times. I mean, 2 years in a row.
Relax.
All right. I mean, it's true because like Ajax. All right, they Ajax were good, and no one expected them to be that good.
Not Ajax, it's Ajax.
Okay, sorry, Ajax. So Ajax, everyone expected, like no one expected them to be that good, but they were. All right, but and then Manchester City, Ron messed up. All right, it's fine, but and on top of that, the past couple seasons, Real Madrid have been getting second place in the group for some reason. I think that the contenders will definitely be Bayern Munich, it would definitely be Liverpool, Manchester City, they'll be contenders, but I do not see Pep Guardiola winning a Champions League ever again.
Lep.
And to finish it off, PSG, and I would say, depending on how Chelsea start the season, I'll say you can it won't be out of the question to say Chelsea. Yeah, and just that's really all I have to say.
All right, I am Ham. Teams to watch us for next season.
Well, first of all, the team everyone must watch out next season is the Liverpool FC.
The Liverpool? I don't know where
Liverpool.
I am Ham. Who are Liverpool? I heard of them before. Who are they?
Naby Keita, the best midfielder in the league. I think this is his season.
Before. Who the hell are you talking about?
Chicken liver.
He's gonna
keep talking.
give us that treble, CL, Premier League, FA Cup. So yeah,
just keep talking. It's useless.
In France, I think PSG obviously gonna do their thing. In Germany, we all know Bayern Munich doing their thing, and HH. Remember, so this season, since Hansi Flick is the best coach in the world, this season he has to win the treble.
He did
because if he's supposedly better than Kovac, then the double's not enough.
He did the treble.
He must get another one.
The treble this season, bro.
He's second ahead.
Yeah, but wait. HH said Kovac is leagues worse off than Hansi Flick. So if Flick gets a double or one trophy, then HH, you're gonna have to explain that to me because I don't understand.
Flick already got the treble.
Flick already got the treble.
What do you want to do?
But is one season now his career's done?
No.
Okay. Anyway, away from Germany.
How hard it is to win a treble back to back?
This guy's logic.
Bayern was in seventh.
Look, Ham, just keep talking, man. Keep talking, man.
Okay. Italy. I think Italy is gonna be a funny one because after seeing what's this guy now, Conte, be a break in the Europa League, I don't even think he's gonna be able to do it against a guy without any experience at all. So I think number 10 is coming to Juve. I still think Ronaldo, Liverpool final in the UCL. And in Spain, I think my boy, the Ginger Minge, if he gets out Messi, if he kicks out Messi and he can set his own team, I think he can win the La Liga.
Wow. I'm sorry, I don't. Barcelona this next season are not winning La Liga without Messi. I'm sorry, that's not happening, bro. San Maya, thoughts for next season? Do you think your boys Bayern Munich will still hold the fort to take things to the next level? What other teams do you see competing and being very good next season, Mr. San Maya?
Okay, so as for defending the Champions League, I don't know if we can do that. It's way too early to tell because by the time it comes down to Champions League semifinals or quarterfinals or the final, there could be injuries, bad run of form, or other factors. So I don't know if we can defend it.
Let me ask you this. Sorry, let me ask you this because I'm just looking at the live chat. So if we assume Thiago leaves, do you think Joshua Kimmich is a proper replacement for what Thiago brought to that midfield?
Yes, definitely he will be. While Thiago is more creative, he's a better footballer, he's a more creative midfielder. But in my opinion, Kimmich, he's better at long passing than Thiago. He's more risky. Like what I mean by risky is he takes more risk on the ball than Thiago. Thiago's is a little bit too conservative at times. So that's one trait that Kimmich is better. But if you're asking me who's the better midfielder, I agree. Thiago's the better midfielder. But But I'm just saying, like, Kimmich as a Thiago replacement, although doesn't offer as much as Thiago, but he's more than adequate replacement for Thiago. That's just what I mean. And just because if we're gonna lose Thiago, that doesn't mean we cannot defend the Champions League. Because I do certainly think Kimmich and Goretzka as a double pivot can help us defend that title. So what's the other question?
So it's basically, what teams do you think will perform well next season? Out of all of the big teams, Real Madrid, Juventus, I think, which teams do you look at to say, no, these guys are going to be competitive next season based on their transfers, their players, and so forth?
Okay, you mean domestically or in Champions League?
Both.
Okay. So for Premier League, I think Man City will win it because of Pep. La Liga will be Real Madrid. For Serie, I think it will be Inter Milan.
Yeah.
They will win the Serie, Inter Milan, and then Bayern Munich, PSG for their own leagues. And then as for Champions League, I think definitely Liverpool. I think we should watch out for Liverpool. Like after getting knocked out in round 16, I think they're gonna be more hungry this time. And then Liverpool, and then I think Klopp is like the manager that knows Bayern Munich very well. And if we're ever gonna deal with Liverpool, Klopp always has something in his sleeve that he always comes surprises. Like he can always like beat Bayern, I think. So our biggest like worry is probably Liverpool in Champions League, but you cannot like write out Real Madrid and Liverpool. I think those are the two biggest opponents for Bayern Munich.
But my thing is that don't you worry that Liverpool have not really made any big signings or transfers, but they still feel like Klopp can remotivate them to really play at a high level without any new players coming through?
Yeah, I believe he can. Like from what he's proven it before. Like at Dortmund, he's done it before. Even at Liverpool, like like from just what he's done as a manager for Liverpool. I like if he plays against Bayern Munich, especially when Bayern Munich is the defending champions, he can definitely motivate his team to beat us. So just because they didn't make any signings, I still think they are going to be a threat for Bayern Munich in the Champions League.
Okay. From Just Beston, just to be clear, guys, this is the same man who said Neymar is the greatest player, one of the greatest players of all time, that Neymar is better than Ronaldinho, and Neymar would definitely win the Champions League. This is the same man that said this.
Wow.
Rashford living rent-free in WH's head. Rashford over Fati. Right, Just Beston, thank you very much for that absolutely rancid crap Class A comments. Only a psychopath will say Marcus Rashford is on the same level as Ansu Fati. But Preston, keep living in your deluded mind where Neymar is relevant in 2020. Samata, next season, how do you see teams playing? How do you see teams operating next season? Samata.
Yeah, let me go through each team in the Premier League first. So Man City easily will win the Premier League this season, this coming season. Guardiola had the buffer season last time round. If you study Pep Guardiola, you'll see that he has a resting season with pretty much with Barcelona. I mean, 2011, 2012. That's when Real Madrid won it. He was just I mean, you can't win it every year.
How many years for the Champions League?
He left after that season, by the way. Just want to let you know.
We're talking about domestic competitions here, not Champions League. So Premier League, the Belford will win it easily. Chelsea, I'd say they'll come in top 4. Liverpool, top 4. Arsenal, top 4. Then moving on to La Liga, I think this season Atletico Madrid might win it.
What?
You know?
Are you sick?
Wow. No. Seriously, I had lunch with Simeone last week. He was like,
I believe they just sold one of the most important players.
He
by the
just
way.
winked at me. He's like, "Don't
Wink?
worry."
Oh, they're gonna
So,
sell. They're gonna sell to Arsenal. By the way.
He winked at you.
you'll see. No, cause they've got a project here. I think with obviously Ja Felix, Morata up front, Diego Costa as well can come off the bench here and there. Couple of goals, probably double figures. And they've got a strong midfield. If they can keep Thomas Partey, I think they can say something. I think Barcelona. If you look at the talent of pool here, you've got Griezmann, Messi. Yeah, obviously keeping Messi now. Coutinho, Dembele, Ansu Fati, a stacked midfield as well. They can get Wijnaldum and that guy as well.
Depay.
What's it? Depay, yeah, Depay as well. They've got the players. They've got. It's just Koeman that he needs to figure it out. He needs to think about who he plays in that pivot role.
So
Is it
who
Busquets
will be
or
the
De
main
Jong?
guys in Europe next season? Which teams will be the teams to be fearful of the most in Europe?
I'd say Liverpool. I don't think they're going to win the Premier League, but there's just something about them in this competition. Or Klopp as well. He's success in cup competitions as well. I don't know. There's something about Liverpool. PSG, I think it's over for them. They're not going to win it this season. Barcelona.
It's PSG.
I think it's Liverpool winning it this season. I really do think so.
All right. Stodge, how do you think things go next season for the big clubs, man? Who rules Europe?
Be objective, please.
So I'm gonna go through the leagues first. So the Premier League, obviously, I have to back Liverpool. Hopefully, Matip can stay fit. We need him to stay fit for the entire season this year, and with a few additions. I think it's not a debate. I mean, I don't know. It's not a question for me. Matip easily. Matip is very underrated. I don't know why he's not getting the respect he deserves. Because in the Champions League, he did perform better than Van Dijk in all the important games. But people dismiss that. Yeah. I've not seen this Gomez guy do anything but get us knocked out. But so Man City, I think I don't know. They haven't signed any defenders. So what is there to rate? They lost. Did they sign him?
They're
they sign
about to sign him.
No, they didn't sign him yet, man.
They haven't signed him yet.
Who?
Yeah, so it's the same crap defense. I mean, it's the same crap defense. So I think a lot.
Remember they got Nathan Ake. I'm sorry, Nathan Ake.
Yeah, but he got relegated.
I don't spend this whole thing where everyone just says, City will definitely win it next season. Based on what?
Because it's Snap. He's a domestic merchant.
And people are forgetting that Everton have brought better attackers. I mean, Chelsea have brought some gunmen. I mean, these are all teams they're going to face. Even Arsenal, they might sign some a good midfielder in our. So it's going to be very tough for them, especially with their defense. Okay, so the Bundesliga, this is the easiest one. It's Bayern Munich. I think Bayern Munich currently have the best, or at least top 2 best player in the world, and that's coming from me. And I have to respect Lewandowski. I think he's the best striker the world has seen in the last 15 years. I think he shouldn't even be.
Hazem, I will mute you. Hazem, I will mute you. Don't react.
It's not better than R9.
Last 15 years?
Last 15 years, easily. Last 15 years. I mean, we're talking about a Ballon d'Or winner here, and I think it's insulting that you guys are putting Benzema in a sentence with a Ballon d'Or winner. This is a Ballon d'Or winner.
Is he better than
How many champions?
Exactly.
Thank you. For me, Lewandowski now sits at the table with Cristiano Ronaldo, not Benzema. We're talking about Ballon d'Or.
This on crack.
Thank you.
I'm telling you. And so Bayern Munich are very much favourites for the Champions League as well. And
Lewandowski's better than R9. Is that what you're telling me?
R9. That I said last 15 years. 1-5. 15. Yeah. I mean, think about it. He's up there, man, especially in consistency. And he's going to win the Ballon d'Or. I don't think any other striker... Has any other striker won it the last 15 years, the Ballon d'Or?
No.
He's not going to win the Ballon d'Or because there's no Ballon d'Or.
He already won the Ballon d'Or. No one cares about this.
Yeah. He's correct, guys. Anyway,
everyone knows he won the Ballon d'Or.
For the French league, PSG, PSG are going to win it, but
What?
Neymar, PSG are going to win the French league. I said that.
Oh,
But PSG, in order, I think they can win the Champions League. But what they need to do is they pretty much need to bend their midfield because they need to get. I don't know why they're not being linked with Aouar. I think Verratti, you've had your chance. You had your chance time and time again, and the guy's never there. I don't know if he's injury prone. He's good, but he's like always missing, or when he plays in important matches, the team is not getting through. So I think maybe it's time to part ways with him. I think they should look at this guy called Bentancur at AC Milan. Very good player, underrated. And just get a new midfield. Guy as well, he's not that good. I think if they can get the right midfield, also they need actually they're not going to challenge. I forgot they need a centre back, they need a right back. They got rid of Munir. Yes, it's not going to be their season. So another year with Neymar not winning the Champions League, sadly. Oh my.
So sorry, before I move to the next guy, guys, remember, guys, we will take some questions towards the end. So guys, send questions for the panel on the live chat. Send your questions across. Send your questions.
Champions League favorites now. La Liga, Real Madrid, and Champions League favorites. I'm going to go with Bayern Munich, Liverpool, and what is it? Real Madrid. But the thing that scares me about Real Madrid is I'm not judging Hazard based on goals, but I believe the guy might be finished because I remember in that league the year before.
Yes.
Now I'm going to give you my reason. Hazard is one of the best dribblers. He's one of the best dribblers in the last 20 years, and that's what scares me more than the goal scoring. The fact that he's struggling to get past people. And you got to remember, the year before, Soufiane Boufal went to La Liga from the Premier League, and the guy had the highest dribble rates. So I'm wondering what has happened to Hazard's dribbling. Forget about the goals. Why can't he beat players? I mean, this is the same league with the year before.
Let me answer. It's mental. Something happened to him during that summer psychologically that obviously affected him.
Maybe while
it makes no sense. It makes no sense that's the top 3 player in the world performed like that. It makes no sense.
It makes sense because
before he came to Real Madrid, this guy was top 3 in the world. He had surpassed Christina and all those other clowns. So it has to be psychological. It's a mental thing that's happened to him. So because we know he's one of the best players in the world. We already know he's one of the best players in the world. Everyone knows this.
Hazard's a PL merchant. That's all he is. He just can't.
Go ahead, Staj. Go ahead.
Okay. So they're the 3 favorites. I'm just going to put Real Madrid in there. I'm going to trust you that Hazard's, he's going to turn up. And I forgot about Serie A. I need to say Serie A. Inter Milan have to win it because this guy Conte, he's been complaining. I watch a lot of Italian. He's been complaining. He's been asking for all these ancient players that are about to retire. Why are you asking for 35-year-olds? You better win it. Because otherwise he's ruining Inter Milan asking for all these old players and he's not going to deliver a title. He's been complaining. He threatened to leave the club if they don't back him. Okay, they said they're going to back him, give him all the funds. So he has to win it. There's no excuse.
Okay. What's it called? Saeed. What are going with the big teams for next season, bro?
How's next season going? Guys, I'm gonna say something I'm not disrespectful, but this is what I believe.
So basically, you're disrespecting someone by saying what you're gonna say.
But I just don't want to get interrupted. Okay, I believe the EPL is gonna be a very, very interesting this season. I believe they're gonna be unexpected teams that's gonna challenge for the title. I think the era where Manchester City and Liverpool are gonna be the 2 team that pretty much battling for the title. I think this is not going to be the year. I think Pep Guardiola is going to be he's going to run out of the Premier League. This is his last year. Manchester City will struggle this year. I think if Liverpool don't get signings and if they somehow let Gini Wijnaldum go to Barcelona, Thiago, don't get me wrong, Thiago I feel like one of the best midfielders in the world. But in that Liverpool system, with that midfield, the horse was like that aggressive midfield where they literally are they recycle. They're like the engine of the team. They're gonna struggle. You lose Gini Wijnaldum, you're gonna lose his work rate. Thiago is not gonna have that work rate that he has. He will have the ability, the technical ability, the passing range, but this is a Premier League. He has to go after the ball. He has to press, and he did it in a Bayern Munich team that everybody around him was they were on steroids or something. I don't know what they were on. They have to be on drugs. But anyways, Liverpool is gonna struggle this year if they don't make any signings, which it looks like it. And I think Manchester City is gonna struggle. Chelsea, I right now Chelsea are my favorites to win the league. The only
Relax.
no, let me explain. I said do not interrupt me, guys. Let me speak, okay?
You
The only
interrupt
person,
everyone, by the way.
the only person that's gonna stop Chelsea from winning the title, in my opinion, is Frank Lampard. And if he doesn't win the title, he should actually get sacked. That's my opinion. Um,
Correct.
Manchester United is gonna challenge as well. I mean, it really depends on who they sign. Because Manchester United, I'm 100% we're gonna do well. We're gonna challenge for the title. But if we don't make any signings, we're gonna lose steam. We're gonna have injuries, and hence it's gonna be the reason why we probably won't win the title. Not 21, sadly. Mourinho, don't sleep on Mourinho. Do not sleep on Mourinho. Mourinho had a summer. Mourinho had time. He's getting signings in slowly. He put out that documentary. Do not sleep on Mourinho. Mourinho, he's one of the best managers to ever live the game for a reason. And people have put too much disrespect on Mourinho. So watch out for Mourinho and Arteta. I don't know what Arteta might be. I I feel like people disrespect Arteta, and I feel like he should be given a lot of credit for what Pep Guardiola did at Manchester City. And it might be something that Manchester City is missing. In my opinion, I think they're missing Arteta badly. Arteta, he's doing good things with Arsenal. Arsenal is gonna be a lot better than they were this year. So in my opinion,
But you need to round it because we need to get to
okay.
some other guys. Other guys need to
Okay.
talk, so you need to round up.
I spent a lot of time in EPL because I feel like EPL is going to be even more interesting because we know that Bundesliga, that Bayern is going to win it. We know that PSG is going to win France.
In Europe.
Yeah. So and let's go in Europe. I feel like the Bayern is by far the favorites. I have three dark horses. I have Zidane, Real Madrid, Chelsea, because I just feel like they have one of the best teams right now. I mean, they have too much talent, and I feel the third. I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna say Man United.
My
Yeah,
God.
it's cup competition. No, listen, guys, it's cup competition. No one expected Leipzig and Leon to get to a semis. This is a cup competition. Yes, Man United, guys. Man United. So, and I don't think PSG is not gonna. This final was the last final was the last time you'll ever see PSG do anything productive in the Champions League. It's over for them. It's so sad.
Wait. Before I go to Cassius, so you said that the three teams are who? Who are the three teams you said for Europe? Who did three teams?
So I say Bayern is by far the favorites. I have three teams in the mix. I have Real Madrid, Chelsea, and United. Those are my four in my favorites.
You put United over Liverpool.
Okay, all right. Look, fine. Sorry, let me just hit the super chat, man. From True There 123 who says, if Hazard continues to underperform like last season, then Vinicius should start instead. True There, if Hazard continues to underperform, I'm building him a wing. Because
real quick on Hazard, real quick.
Hazard, you made me look like a fool. So Hazard, I swear to you, if you underperform this season, I personally will build a flipping wing for that dude. Cassius.
Real quick before you go to Cassius.
Yeah, guys are waiting to talk. Cassius,
yeah.
talk.
Okay,
teams for next season.
For me, it's gonna be the four best teams are gonna be PSG, Bayern, Man City, and Liverpool.
Not Real Madrid.
No, I don't. For me, no, I don't see Real Madrid doing anything. Man City, I feel like they'll do well in the league, like pretty much everyone else said. But I don't see them even getting to the final of the Champions League. I think it'll be more of the same from Man City, just falling at the last hurdle. Liverpool, I think I don't think they'll be as good as they were in the last two seasons in the league, but in the Champions League, they're going to be in my opinion, they're going to be one of the favorites to go and reach the final. Bayern, for me, are the number one favorite, and I think people should pay attention to PSG because they still got Neymar and Mbappe. That's two of the top 5 players in the world. So,
whoa, relax, relax.
You don't think Neymar's top 5?
No. After 2020, no. I'm sorry, no.
No, I mean, no, basic classes. After that's final, we just have to have questions. That's it. After that's final performance, questions need to be asked. Okay, guys, look, man. Let's take some questions from the audience. This is an interesting one. How do you comment on the popular opinion that players from 50 to 70 years ago are genuinely worse than players today, and that Pele is overrated because of that? So let me kick things off.
What's eye test?
And I'll show it to the other guys. See, my thing about this is there are advantages and disadvantages. Sure, back in the 60s, 70s, 50s, tactics were not evolved. You know, you didn't really have marauding left and right wing backs and so forth, and it was a different game, it was a slower game. But at the same time, you had to commit homicide to get a yellow card. It was tougher, it was harder, it was much more physical. Hence why the reason why Pele couldn't really play the rest of the 62 World Cup was because they went out and they injured him. You know, what happened to Pele in 62 would not be at a hard where he was continually hacked because of how dangerous he was. So my thing is, you can't just say, oh, if you're amazing in today's game, you'll be amazing back then. Because in today's game, more complex teams, more bigger teams, and a lot more are done with regards to tactics. But a lot of guys today would not be able to survive. They would have quit a long time ago if they tried to play in the 50s or 60s, where you had guys breaking your legs, and it was a much physical game on worse pitches and so forth. So thoughts on this, Fulton?
Yeah. Like, see, it's all about history. Just like I live in the United States. We don't know, like, we got independence by people telling us stories. Like, it's all about history. Like, I don't like really comparing the era. This is why I hate bringing up, oh, Pele never played in the Champions League, because back then it was different. Playing in the Brazilian league, he was making more money playing in the Brazilian league. Europe wasn't like the way it is now. That's why I don't really like comparing eras, but that's why we have this whole argument about you gotta win the World Cup, because the World Cup always been, it was there during Pele time. It's still here. It's still that da 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 da. But my thing is, I don't think Pele was overrated, because when you watch, like, my grandfather, when you hear him talking about Pele, he's always bragging he was this good. Because I always ask him, how good was he really? Because I wasn't there. When you watch his YouTube highlights, it doesn't look as impressive, but to him, he said it was the greatest thing he ever seen. He gets so mad at where people say Cristiano or Messi are like the greatest player of all time, but it's just my opinion on it. I don't want to.
So let me just hit this. So Natsa says, whatever you do, HH, don't put Man City as CL favorites, please. I beg you, because you think I will rebuke them. Natsa, based on all of the nasty stuff you've said, I hereby put a hex on Man City. Based on all the insults and abuse I've had to face this season, Manchester City will 100% win the Champions League next season.
Stop making fun of me.
Enjoy that hex, my dear friend.
Roll football. I'm sorry you go flop. I'm sorry. Stop making fun of me.
Wait. Roll football. Talk to me. How do you compare both of the eras of the past and the eras of today? Should we be more respectful of Pele's era and so forth?
All right. So one of the big things that we have to look at is the art of defending, which wasn't really established back in the 1960s. Sport evolves, and defending has evolved. Is one of the positions that have evolved the most. I would actually say, but besides goalkeeping, it is a position that has evolved the most. And that does come into play with tactics and all that. But now defenders are, I would say, 10 to 15 times, much more than that. I would say they're a lot more better than when they were in the 1960s. There's more science to the game. So when we take into account of all these factors, I would say it's just common sense that the era we live in now is much more better than the era from 1960s. Personally, if we're gonna talk about speaking to our fathers, I speak to my father. He says that he thinks Maradona was the best player he's ever seen. A big reason because of that is because he says that players would always tackle him, and he would still stand right back up. So he was a lot more tougher. So I'm gonna just go off what you have said earlier, saying that players do have to be a lot more tougher to survive in the era back then. But taking toughness out of this, Messi for me, best player I've ever seen, and I do not think that I will ever see a player as great as Messi because you have to be born with what he has, and he's definitely he's something special.
Yeah,
So
no,
I would say the era before. It's I watched a lot of UFC. I watched a lot of MMA, and the era and sports evolve, football has evolved, and you do have to. I take it with a grain of salt when people say Pele is the best player ever. So yeah.
no, I think again, it's like I think it's almost an unwinnable argument. Hence, whenever I get into this Twitter arguments, I'm like, guys, what are we doing? We will never agree. I will always say that Ronaldo is the best player I've ever seen in my life. It will always be. And I've seen Messi, I've seen Cristiano, and I respect what Messi and Cristiano have done, but I'll always say it's Ronaldo. There are people of like older men, like my uncles, who will say, sorry, Maradona is the best player I've seen. I don't care what Messi does, I don't care what Ronaldo does or anybody. Maradona is the best player I've ever seen. And there are guys, when I'm looking at the 60s, 70s, said, sorry, nobody's touching Pele because it's different when you live it. YouTube doesn't do Ronaldo justice because being in that time, living in that time, watching the matches, seeing the hype, just being of that era, it is very different from just watching YouTube clips. So I can only imagine what it would have been like living the time of Maradona, living the time of a Pele. Because I want to know in 20 years' time how a 25-year-old will look at Messi if all they can have are just YouTube clips. I want to know. Because will they say, oh, this is the best player? No. The XXX, whoever is the player in 20 years, says, nah. Messi, this guy was just like, it was just easy. So it's not really that good. So, because again, if you look at some George Best clips, this guy was like dribbling like the length of the pitch. You look at some Garrincha clips, this guy was doing mad stuff. So it is what it is. Thoughts on England? Can they win the Euros or World Cup? They can't win the World Cup. They can win the Euros. I think if Southgate allows the team to play with freedom and allows them to express themselves, 100% they can win the Euros. I don't think they're there yet to win the World Cup, though. So I am Ham. Talk to me. How do you look at the past era and this era, man? Pele's era and this era of now. Should we be more respectful?
Like I said yesterday, any players before 1995, I don't think they even compare to players now. Like if you were having
Dogs, man.
Before 1995.
Yeah, because these players used to be eating fish and chips and stuff like that, drinking beers after the match, smoking cigarettes and all that stuff, things Hazard does and stuff. So nah, man, I don't think so. It's like what you said about the female players is a complete different sport.
So you have no respect for any players before 1995?
Nah, I just think I think it's like what makes Ronaldo so good. Okay, it's not the fact like he's not technically the greatest player out there, but it's just the fact that he's playing at a speed and level that's much greater than other players. His efficiency to always find space to always score. It's like of efficiency just wasn't available at that time. I don't think.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Samata, man. How do you view players of the past? Do they deserve more respect?
I wouldn't go as far as to say in 1995. That's ridiculous. But in terms of football from the 70s, 60s, 50s, it's a completely different sport if you compare even his technicalities. Like, I mean, did they even have the offside rules back then? You know, the tactical nuances as well in terms of, you know, you've got the fullback role that evolved so much over the decades, and the coaching, the professionalism as well in terms of, you know, coming up with really complicated tactics on field, off field as well. So it evolved a lot. I mean, this thing we have with, you know, this nostalgia thing, the sheep mentality as well of looking at the past and saying, oh yeah, Pele, and you know, Gerd Muller, and he's got this many goals. It's ridiculous. No way. I mean, you can't really compare football from that era to what we have now. So I have no respect for. I mean, if Pele was playing in our era, I'd probably say he'd probably be a ball boy or something.
What?
Okay, all right. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
relax.
It's his opinion. It's his opinion. Wait. So thank you, the super chat, Mr. Richard Allian, that says video of Pele doing every skill move 50 years before, and this is the key thing. Because for me, I've always said the best player I've ever seen is Ronaldo, R9, and the best player I've ever seen, Ronaldo. Greatest player for me is Maradona. But what I always say to myself is, why do people have such reverence for Pele? Why? I look at the clips.
Ask yourself this question.
I actually believe
just one question. Just one question.
What this dude says. He was doing things nobody had ever seen before. So if you're living in the moments where this guy is doing things that nobody else on the planet is doing, and it's the first time you're seeing them, it will have a profound effect on you. So even if you see guys like Messi, people do it, you're like, I'm sorry, it's amazing what you're doing and everything, but how I felt when I saw him do that stuff has a greater impact on me than you guys doing it, because it's almost as if you can do this as many times, but he did it first. You may do it better, but he did it first, you know? So he was maybe doing things that people had never seen before and doing it for the first time, which is what made it from Marvel. Because guys, I'm sorry, like, unless Pele has a special spell on someone, everybody of his era says, I'm sorry, this guy is the greatest thing ever before. So I think it's a case of you had to flip and live it. Cassius.
For me, you know, I don't think there's a general crescendo or anything. I don't think basically if, you know, Pele was playing in the modern era, he wouldn't be as good, or if, you know, Messi or Cristiano or whoever was playing in the 1960s, they wouldn't be as good. I think it's just, you just have to take you know, the 1960s. There's the Juventus coach Trapattoni. He played against Eusebio and Pele in the same week, and he'd never seen them play. And those are two of the legends of the game, and especially in the 60s, those were the two best players in the world, and he'd never seen them play. So it's just different, you know. Now you get a penalty for you know, just, you can kick a player and you get a penalty if you're an attacker. If you can fall over and you get a penalty. So I don't think there's a general crescendo. I think you just have to take each era for what it is, each decade for what it is.
All right. Sam Maya, man, how do you view the era of the past? Do we need to give him more respect?
Yeah, we do need to give them more respect. Like, football has evolved drastically from 50 years ago to now, whether it's defending, tactics, or physicality. Like, even the training facilities.
Your son, Mike, get closer to your mic. You're sounding very echoey. You're sounding very echoey. Get closer to your mic.
Is it better now?
Yeah, you still sound like if you're in an echo thing. You sound distant.
Oh,
okay. We'll come back to you. Just try and get closer to you, and we'll come back to you. Stodge, do we need to give more respect to the past?
Yeah. I think we need to give a lot more respect to the past, and because obviously, yeah, this era is better, but for me, it's only better because of how much the sport has evolved. Obviously, tactics have evolved, and the biggest reasons for it is really the science. The science has improved the players, their health, the amount of data we can measure now, how much things can be analyzed in detail. But in my perspective, like the guy, I think it's an insult to say that Pele would be a nothing player in this era. It'd be, for example, there's a lot of inventions that we use today that are useful, that have been perfected. But would you say the person that invented it was an idiot? No, you wouldn't. For me, to say the person with that did all these skills without the textbook can't do it now in this era with all this stuff, I mean, that doesn't even make sense. That's not common sense. I mean, for somebody to come up with something without a textbook, clearly that is the biggest genius there can be. When you have the blueprint, is easier, but when there's no blueprint, it requires much more brain power. And this is just my opinion from what I've analyzed in football, and I think football is very similar to boxing in the fact that the athletes are greater, but in terms of skill, I think the skill-wise, football has peaked between 1970 and 1990. I do not see any additional skills these players are doing from 2000 till now. I mean, okay, let's say Ronaldinho, when did he play? 2006, right? If the way these guys are on about these footballers as if they've evolved into aliens or something, why am I not seeing them do new amazing skills? What's wrong with them? Why can't they take the ball, dribble across all these players? I'm not seeing them do these things the way you guys are describing it. I'm sorry.
Did anybody do Dino's Elastico between 70 and 1990?
I mean, Rivellino. It was Rivellino.
He invented it. HH. That was his move.
I know Rivellino did also, but did Rivellino ever do the Elastico?
Yeah, that was his move.
Yes.
That was his move. So, I mean, technically, I don't see much improvement in the players. I'll get it from the sports science perspective and all of that, and fitness, and how much the tactics have changed. All of that I understand, but you cannot tell me these skill-wise, these players are that much greater. I'm sorry, they're just not. From what I'm seeing with my eyes, if I look at it from the 1990s onwards, let's say we entered the 2000s, right? I can't point to that many players that didn't. Like Zidane played pretty much a lot of his career in the 1990s. I'm not seeing this many players that are that greater than him technically. And some people just dismiss all players that played before 95. That's ridiculous.
That was Ham, man. He's a brick, man. He's a brick. Pele transcended football. The guy was 17, man.
Okay, wait. Let me hit the super chat. So, from Zwatang TV says, HH, why doesn't Ruud Gullit ever get the praise he deserves as one of the greatest attacking midfielders ever? He was literally a machine. No, I think Gullit gets. For me, I think Gullit falls into the same category as like a Laudrup, where he's very respected. But are we now going to say he's one of the greatest players of all time? Are we now going to put him in the same category as like a Zidane? No, we're not. But he is put in as, let's say, that's tier 2 level, where almost the way people talk of Gullit is how people talk of Laudrup or even Beckham, where he's very well respected. Not one of the greatest, not one of the fans, but he's very well respected. I've never seen anybody disrespect what Gullit did and how well he played that role. So he's rated properly in my view.
He's the most versatile player ever, right? I think he's played every position on the pitch, like almost to a world-class level, even centre-back, Gullit.
Yeah, you can't just put him into like attacking midfielder. He played everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. He played everywhere.
He was box to box as well. He could play defense. I know he could play defense as well. So no, it was the guy was a damn good player. What's it called? Isn't it part of the 88 school with Van Basten and Rijkaard?
Yeah.
Mr. Kai Havertz, Abdullahi.
Yep.
The question is this: we're not talking about Chelsea. Let's just speak here. We're not talking about Chelsea. So my thing here is, Abdullahi, should we give more respect to players of the past than we do, or not? Do they deserve more respect?
It is for me. I don't think. If you look at those years, look at the offside goals, look at the way they score goals, and look at this year. Now, the technology is different. You can't talk about those years and this years together. Yes, people may say Maradona is the best player of the generation. Pele is that. Look at this year now. We have Cristiano Ronaldo, we have Leo Messi, we have Neymar, we have Kylian Mbappe. So we have players who are like an hybrid players who can score, who can play from any position. Strikers, left wing, right wing. So those years is different because those years you can clearly score from anywhere. Even the referee won't even, if you even score from for a hand, they won't even blow the whistle. You just go and that's it. But those years, the technology of those years is different than the technology of these years. So you can't pretty say that in those years It seemed one player could just come in and score 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 goals, 10 goals. No one will kind of tell him. No one will never talk about. But look at this year; it's different. The technical difference there is kind of different than this year.
No, but could players of this generation survive the physicality of the past generation?
Actually, the past generation, no physicality. Then the defender there is not even good as of this year generation. Those years,
No, I don't know. I'm not talking the physicality where you have to commit homicide to get a yellow card, where you get hacked.
They literally broke Pele's leg, and the guy still didn't get a red card.
Yeah. So my thing is that could they hack it? That's my question. Could the players of today hack the physicality of the past? Yes or no?
I don't think so, because if you look at these players of this year, my lord, look at the way they play. They are defender, they are attacker, and still they still play football. Pele, Maradona, this kind of play. It's gonna be difficult to do in this generation now, because now there's new fever rules and new everything. So it's different. Those generation, yes, I think need to be given slight respect a little bit in the way they play a little bit than this technology system we have now. That's my say.
Okay. And let me just hit the super chats. From your boy Nuski, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat, big man. Says FIFA changed offside rules, increased penalties for fouls to help strikers since the 2000s. The back pass to goalie rule alone increased goals. We have resorted to speed and 3 in mids for lack of quality. You see, you have to look at all of the changes that were made. I believe that, just as you just said, we have seen changes to make the game much more attacking and make it harder for guys to defend. So the reason why we're now seeing, and didn't they increase the goal? I think it's around the late 90s, they actually increased the size of the goal. And so forth.
Also, the offside rule has been in existence since 1925. And that offside rule that Pele and Maradona played for the majority of their career, you needed you need to be behind 2 defenders, not just one. An attacker has to be, you can't be in front of one defender only. It had to be 2. So that's what this guy's on about. And that rule has been in existence in 1925. So I don't know why that's how old the offside rule is. So I don't know what context these guys are bringing it up.
See, my thing, guys, we need to do a lot more research as to exactly how games back then were then, because people are like, it was. Let's just first be well versed in how things were done back in those days.
We need eye testing,
because I've gone by. I think some months ago I watched the 1970 World Cup final, Brazil, Italy, and so forth. And it is good just to educate yourself, because I think people are very flippant and very ignorant and like, it's just in the past, it's black and white. Whatsoever. Like, no, guys, well, because see, my thing though is you just saying, because remember, everybody was just doing what everyone was doing because everybody was on the same level. So if you say, okay, they didn't have all of the training equipment and on all the technology, so that means everybody was the same. So if you had a player stepping outside of that paradigm and doing new things, as Storch just said, you have to give credits to that evolutionary force who was stepping outside and was the guy who really set the catalyst for guys to now be doing skills, doing step overs, doing overhead kicks. And I don't think anybody tried an overhead kick before Pele, or a step over, or even a feint. So it is because actually, if you see, even when I look at Pele clips, I'm like, this is not very dynamic. But one thing I appreciate though is that at first I was like, these defenders look crap. Look at what they're doing. But in my mind, I said, wait a minute, these defenders, this was probably the first time they were ever seeing this stuff. So they're like, what they do to these guys do. So the defenders look stupid because they've never seen a guy do the kinds of things that he was doing. But once you now see it more and more times, then you now train yourself for it. Hence why there are very few skills that a defender doesn't know, because they've pretty much all been maxed out already. So from Richard Elinek, it says that from Richard Aina, people don't know ball, to be honest. In Pele's era, because this is what Storch was saying. This offside rule was based off the second last defender. You assume everything, yet know nothing. Shame. Guys, please do your research. Don't be flippant. Let's continue. Survive the physicality, biggest myth. How's that a myth?
Yeah, how's that a myth?
Because my thing about it is that I know for a fact that players today are far more protected. If you breathe on a player, it's a foul. So, the referee is far more protective of the player now back then, because back then players got so many injuries that they had to change the rules. So if you take a player now who is so used to being protected by the referee back to where he's not protected, it's hard. Case in point, Copa America. I keep saying this story. I think it was either the 2015 or the 2016 Copa America. I think it was against Colombia. It was either against Colombia or Chile where Argentina played. And these guys were physical on Messi. They were pushing him, shoving him, pushing him, shoving him, pushing him, shoving him. Messi kept complaining to the ref, pushing him, shoving. Ref didn't do anything.
It was Chile.
Wait, which Copa
It was
America?
2015 Copa America.
So Messi goes to the ref and says, "Yo, ref, look at what they're doing." And the ref says, "Bro, you're in South America. I'm sorry, things are different here." So Messi, it was a hard change for him going from Europe, where he's very much protected and he expects those fouls, to South America, where the referees allow more physicality and allow you to really shove in, allow you to now do that kind of stuff. So you're now going to an era where, I told you had to commit first degree murder to get a yellow card back in those days. So not many players would survive back then. They would either get injured or they would not be able to hack it. If you have defenders who be like, "Yo, he's the best player, break his legs." That's how it was. Back then, you're the best player, and the referee would be like, "Oh, it is what it is," because referees had not yet evolved. Saeed, do we need to respect more the players of the past?
Yeah, I 110% believe. I don't know. There's I see both the arguments. I see both sides of the arguments, but I feel like the talent level I think the talent level in today has dropped. Where I don't think, because like you still talk about R9. I mean, is there any player right now that you can literally say this guy is the next R9? No, Dino. I mean, you had Zidane, and then just let me just speak about like Pele and Maradona. Pele, like you said many times, I feel like Pele is the greatest footballer ever because he's the reason why we have a Neymar, Messi, Dino, R9. He's the reason why we have these type of players. He revolutionized football. Football was only known to play one way. He like if you look at football, and if there's a neutral that doesn't have any bias or affiliation to anything, if we ask them like what is if there's one team that symbolizes the history of football, what is it? And everyone's gonna say Brazil, and that was because of Pelé. I mean, Brazil is the greatest footballing club team ever, and they have like the most World Cups. Why? Because Pelé started that. Pelé did that. Pelé did all that. So he's literally a revolutionist in football, and hence why when you talk to everyone that's like the old heads, they will tell you, yeah, man, this guy, Pelé is the greatest. But in terms of my opinion, ability, I feel like Maradona in today. If you take Maradona, and you take him and go back, like you have a time machine, whatever. You go back in time, you kidnap Maradona, you bring him to today's game. He's gonna be the best player in the world, in my opinion. With the stuff that Maradona was doing, and like you said, and like people were kicking him. People were kicking him. People was absolutely doing first degree assaults on him. I mean, there was a clip I saw on YouTube. I think it was a Copa del Rey game with Atletico Bilbao, where you would just see him getting kicked, kicked left to right to the point where the game had to be ended because there was an actual fight. They just started to fight. Madonna was like, "Screw it, I'm done with getting kicked the whole game and getting abused. I'm gonna fight," and there was like a big brawl. Um, I mean, that's what you have to do with. And then it's just and if you think about like the best players in certain positions today, and you think about them, you're like, okay, for example, everyone goes about how great Van Dijk is, but is Van Dijk like if you compare him to the center backs that played, like no one's gonna take him over Gattuso. No one's gonna take him over Desai. No one's gonna take him over these players, right? Because those players were just different. I mean, Van Dijk is he's not in terms of people that have watched football for a long time. Like you said, there's nothing different you see in these players that you haven't seen before. And so like the only thing I can say about this generation of football and the football era in here, I think there is two players that revolutionized the game, and that's Ronaldo and Messi in terms of amount of goals consistently they scored over the period of time. I don't think we're ever gonna see something like that. I mean, there's been years where these guys have scored 30 plus goals like consecutively for like I think for like 10 years. You're not gonna see that anymore. Hence why when Lewandowski scored 50 goals this season, yes, everyone was like, "Oh, he had a great season," but we've seen it so many times from Messi and Ronaldo that I wasn't phased.
Okay. So let me just hit this. So Yuski, who says the guy that argued about my offside comments only started watching for football before 1993. You didn't need to be involved in play to get the flag. Ah. So you see, my thing is that, first of all, just from that comment, like people are very sort of ignorant about what stuff happening in the past and so forth. And what I've never ever said, I never come through is like, oh man, forget that stuff in the past. Or what the hell was that? Because everything is relative. Everything is relative. Like you can't just assume that, because tactics are evolved, a player now is now going to now do amazing back in the past. You cannot assume that. But one thing I will do say is Maradona's intelligence and extraordinary footballing IQ in today's game with the number 10s and the false nines, Maradona would be extraordinary in today's game. Because Maradona's playing style and so forth is perfect for what they're doing with players like him right now. They didn't really understand what Maradona was in terms of what he was doing psychologically, in terms of creativity, playmaking, and so forth, and what he was just doing with his left foot and picking up good propositions back in what's called the 80s or the 90s. But right now, my gosh, you're looking at what your Messi's, your Ozils, all these kinds of dude who, or even Griezmann, who can just play in all these kind of different positions. So it's like.
And don't forget, the guy was literally on drugs, playing at a high level. The guy was high on coke. This guy was still playing magic football.
Because you see, cocaine is not a performance-enhancing drug. If anything, cocaine should make it much more difficult for you to concentrate. So, but you see,
no.
What?
Cocaine makes you wake up. Cocaine wakes you up. It wouldn't make you.
Cocaine makes you hyper. Cocaine does not help you play football better. Football, you need certain concentration to play football.
Nah.
So I'm Ham. So first of all, you're a doctor who knows for a fact that cocaine makes you a better football player.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that cocaine doesn't necessarily make you a worse. It wouldn't necessarily make you a worse football player.
No, it hampers you. It hampers your performance if you're high on coke playing for football.
How? But like for Maradona, you're saying he's being kicked and all match long, and he wouldn't feel that pain. He would be able to get up all the time.
No.
So
in terms of the playing of the game. In terms of the playing of the game, if you're high on coke, because when you're playing football, you need to concentrate. Anybody who's played football knows that you need a certain level of concentration to know what you're doing and understanding of tactics where I am on the pitch. If you're high on cocaine, you're mad. You're hyper.
But these are the same people who are playing drunk, though. These are the same people who are playing drunk. Like everyone was drunk. Some people were high. And all I'm saying.
No, look, this was present. Coke isn't a performance enhancement, and that is just where we should just leave that. So guys, look, man, let's just round this up. So look, man, guys, the season starts next week. You see, just talking about since the Premier League is the league that starts next week, I don't understand people's logic of Man City being the favorites. Like, I don't understand, because for me, I'm sorry, City need to do a lot to prove to me, because you finished 16, 17 points behind homeboys.
Yeah.
All you didn't win a trophy this season because no one cares about the Carabao Cup.
Cup's a trophy.
Leon. So City, you need a lot to do to convince me. And my thing with Liverpool, fair enough, they're not both players, but I rate Klopp extremely highly. And Klopp at Dortmund, he tried his best, but they kept on taking his players. It's different now. He's kept his best players. Now you need to add on so forth, but he's kept his best players. Salah will keep scoring. He will keep scoring because Salah is a goal scoring freak.
What happened when there's a major injury?
What?
What happens when if there's a major injury?
Oh, no, you see, that is where the signings come in, because they've been lucky in the fact that neither Salah or Mane have had major injuries, which is why it is very important that you have a squad that if you have a major injury, you have someone who can slot in and try and at least get some of those goals that they have. But, you've got Origi, who, he can get a few G's here and there. But my thing is that September 14th is big, because I want to see what Chelsea do. Because Chelsea are the most that is the team I think everybody is most excited to see, because they're like, how is it going to work? And in terms of the amount of signings that they've made, and my worry for Chelsea is it's going to be top heavy, where so much has happened, everything, but defensively, no one really knows what's what. So, but I'm still saying I believe I'm still keeping with Liverpool to defend their title. I still think that they will do it. Second, third, let's see what happens. But City will still always be good and consistent. Just that loss to Lyon was painful.
That's Champions League, though. Lepi's a domestic merchant. Like,
no, but then their defense are trash, though.
This
they're absolutely
trash. If Koulibaly, it could change. If they get Koulibaly, it could change. Okay, look, man. Let's wrap that, guys. I will see you guys. Well, I'll see you guys next Saturday, man. So I'll see you guys next. Well, wait a minute. Yes, Saturday we'll round up the games of the Premier League. So I'll see you guys next Saturday. Peace out. Stay true, stay real, stay black, stay peace.
1995, bro.
Become
1995.
Get access to my blog, get access to exclusive videos, and also get access to the podcast of the Saturday and the Sunday Hangouts. Head over to patreon.com/halfwop to gain all these goodies while also supporting your boy HH.